Forrest Sawyer.
Good evening. Rescue workers are sorting through the rubble left by dozens of tornadoes that swept across America's plains last night. At least 26 people were killed in Kansas and Oklahoma as the twisters touched down in 7 states. In a small town just east of Wichita, at least 16 died, and much of the town has been left homeless. ABC's Tom Foreman is in Andover.
Ray Hill is tearing down all that is left of the house he built 14 years ago. His wife, Ann, is searching through the rubble for the things that made their house a home.
This is some antiques that are very precious.
Throughout the tiny town of Andover and the surrounding countryside, that was the scene all day. More than 500 homes were lost as tornadoes ripped through this part of Kansas last evening.
We had no warning, none. Unless you were out standing in your yard and watching it come, that's the only warning that you had.
Some say they never heard the warning sirens as this massive twister bore down on a trailer park, and its fury was captured on home video. But no one could miss the results. Out of 300 trailers, only 3 survived. And as rescuers began digging through the debris, bodies began to appear.
I've seen a lot in my life. I've seen a lot of bad things in my life. This is the worst thing that can happen to anybody.
As he toured the area this morning, Andover's mayor knew a lot of his town had simply vanished.
Probably 1,500 people are homeless now as a result of this, so that's roughly a third of our community.
Relief efforts are already well underway, but the tornado has so changed this community, no one has any illusions. Andover will recover, but it will never be the same. Tom Foreman, ABC News, Andover, Kansas.
South Texans are worried about another natural phenomenon, killer bees. The aggressive insects are beginning to migrate there now, so residents are learning about a new and potentially dangerous neighbor. Steve Shepard reports.
This is how Hollywood portrays killer bees. In real life, the story is a lot different. Killer bees, officially called Africanized honey bees, don't bother people who don't bother them and don't swarm out of the blue to attack innocent children. The fact is, Africanized honey bees look and in most ways behave like ordinary backyard bees. Even trained experts need a microscope to tell the two species apart. But killer bees are different in the way they defend themselves if threatened.
When it does sting, it does it in numbers, large numbers. You will have hundreds of bees attacking the person or the animal.
About 40 people, most of them beekeepers, have died in Mexico as a result of killer bee attacks. Still, an attack by killer bees should not be fatal.
A person can get away. What they have to do is run as fast as they can.
Killer bees began moving north from Brazil in 1957. Today, they infest northern Mexico, and a few are now showing up near Harlingen in South Texas. Their migration north can't be stopped, but can be slowed. Every week, thousands of tons of cargo are offloaded here at the Port of Houston. Much of that cargo from Central and South America. All of it must be inspected for the presence of Africanized honeybees. At ports, border posts, and bee traps across South Texas, inspectors look for and destroy the invaders. Inevitably, some bees will get through, so an educational campaign is underway. Once informed, citizens relax. So your predictions that Harlingen will probably survive?
Oh, I think so. It's been here quite a while. It's survived hurricanes and storms and floods and everything else, so I'm sure it will.
That seems a safe bet. In the words of one expert, Africanized honeybees do not go out looking for victims. Steve Shepard, ABC News, Harlingen, Texas.
One bit of political news. White House Chief of Staff John Sununu faces new criticism tonight for his unofficial trips and charges he may have accepted illegal payments. Time magazine reports that on a trip to Aspen, Sununu accepted free lodging, meals, and lift tickets from the American Ski Federation. That's an industry lobbying group. In addition, the group paid for his wife's airfare. Such payments are prohibited by federal law. The White House says Sununu mistakenly believed the bills were paid by a non-profit educational foundation. And coming up, the fate of Western hostages in Lebanon gets some new attention in the Middle East. The U.S. makes friendly contact with Iran for the first time in more than a decade. And later in this broadcast, fast cars and one very fast woman.
News Saturday. Brought to you by ITT Corporation.